New year, new me, or so we say. We are nearly a quarter of the way through 2022, which is so crazy to me. Back in January, I made some New Year's resolutions. Sometimes I don't love the idea of New Year's resolutions because, I don't know, it's just so easy to set these huge goals that you don't actually end up completing, which is sad because if you're like me, you put so much intentionality into these goals for the year, like you're really trying to carve the dream life, the dream version of you that you want. So today, I am holding myself accountable to the goals, to the kind of person I want to be this year by going back and looking at the goals I set for myself. And I really hope this just inspires you to set some goals if you haven't already, to check in with yourself and the kind of habits that you think will make you the best version of yourself, and to ask yourself why you might not be doing them. There's also no shame here. Shame is not productive. Shame and guilt for not having your goals done, not productive. Today we're bringing self-compassion and inspiration. Also, I'm not very perky today. I'm a little bit exhausted, not gonna lie. I had an assignment due yesterday and it was basically just a day of me sitting by my laptop. So I'm still recovering from that. Shout out to all my fellow students out there. Okay, so I made my 2022 goals and reflections on Notion, which is this productivity tool that I just generally swear by. I use it for uni, I use it for YouTube, I use it for everything. And the way I like to set my goals is by partitioning them into themes of my life. So fitness, health, skills, learning, YouTube, personal projects, academic. The first round of goals is fitness and health. Last year, I said that I wanted to continue doing yoga or meditation at least every other day. One of my goals for this year was to continue that. And similarly, because I'm vegan and want to be a health queen, I make sure to take vitamin B12 and vitamin D3 at least 3 times a week. I have it on my calendar. So far, I have been continuing these goals, which is good. I've been doing yoga since I was 15 because my mum's a yoga teacher, and it's just one of those habits that absolutely helps keep me sane. It's so incredible how you can have a yoga practice for whatever mood you're in. Days where I want to work out, I do like a powerful vinyasa flow. And then days where I feel so low and stressed and anxious, I'll do a practice where I'm just focusing on my breath and postures which are holding myself and creating a safe space for myself. It really takes me out of my head, out of my thoughts, and it sounds corny but feels like I'm connecting my mind and my body. People tend to think yoga is all about the posture and the flexibility and like, oh, can I get my leg over my head? But to me, yoga is so much more about the breathing. The pose is just another way to facilitate the way that the breath is moving through your body. And then daily meditation. So in December, I started using this amazing app called Waking Up. It's an app by Sam Harris, and the reason I love it is because it teaches you a lot about the metacognition of mindfulness, like what meditation is actually doing in your brain. It digs a lot into spirituality, but kind of from a scientific lens. And the way that the meditations are run feels like you're an experimenter. It's almost asking you questions to identify more about your own consciousness. And I love that kind of stuff. Like, I'm super interested in the brain and cognition. Yeah, it's just really changed my day-to-day life this year. And then get a gym membership in London and develop a workout routine 3+ times a week. I have not been going 3+ times a week consistently because the odd week I am dead from uni, quite honestly, and life takes over. But I think this is the most consistent I've been at the gym in my entire life. I know myself, and if I pick a gym too far away, I will not go. There's absolutely no way you're dragging me there. And so I go to a gym which is like a 5-minute walk away, and it's great. And my housemates go, so there's like this accountability. And I used to be really intimidated by the gym because it's just scary working out when everyone, it feels like they're looking at you, even though they're actually not. It's just this thing called the spotlight effect where you're so conscious of yourself, so you get anxious at other people looking at you, but really everyone else is just spotlighting themselves as well. I've really gotten over that fear a lot and learned how to use some of the equipment, and I just feel fit. So what can I say? Fitness queen right here, guys. I'm gonna change my channel theme soon. Be consistent with a skincare routine, yes. I look a bit tired and dead, but honestly my skin has been quite decent recently. Generally, fitness and health has been going well. Okay, I want to learn more about the metacognition of mindfulness meditation. This is so cool because one of my university courses this semester is cognitive neuroscience. And within that module, we have smaller modules like memory. And I have found this course so complementary to my personal research. Yes, but in summer, we will research this more. Go deeper into the cognition of the science of learning. Okay, this is really cool. I'm trying to work out what I want to do with my life, and something that I know I love is education. Something I also know I love is cognition and how the brain works, and they're very complementary to each other, like science of learning, education, and cognition. So one of my goals for this year is kind of exploring how much I could potentially go into that space. Like, would I enjoy going into something in the field of education post-uni? Do I want to go into something to do with research for education? Do I want to go into something like access to education, educational policy, teaching, reformation of education system? I don't know, but I'm looking at these options. EdTech as well. So learn more about EdTech space. I've been reading a lot more articles recently. I also have a Notion page of literature reviews of different papers that I really like, and I want to consolidate them and make some kind of resource with it. Okay, this one, improve my German, and like it has a continue bubble, maintain my conversational German. My mum's Dutch, and German just feels so similar to Dutch, like it feels like such a homey language, and I really want to keep it up. Like I'm considering moving to Berlin a bit over summer just because I love that city. Last year I did a 3-month intensive German course online, and this is so cool because it actually brings me to the sponsor of today's video. I did a Lingoda course, and I chose their courses because one of my friends did it and she became fluent in German after doing one course, which is so insane. She worked so hard. Lingoda is without a doubt the best way I have found to learn a language. If you are serious about learning a language, whether it's for your GCSEs, your A-levels, or just because you want to be able to go to a country and speak to people, do Lingoda. Like, it's so good. Lingoda works in sprints, so you can either do 15 classes a month, which is like one every other day, or 30 classes a month, which is one every single day for 2 months. You take lessons online via Zoom, and it's so cool because they have 24/7 flexibility, so you can choose the time of the class every day and fit it in with your schedule, which if you're at uni like me is just great. You can pick the level that suits you, and all the Lingoda teachers are native, fluent in the language, and there are only ever up to 5 students in the class, which is so cool because it means you get your pronunciation corrected. It's not like French GCSE where there's like 35 people in a class. The learning curve is so steep, you get to practice speaking, and also it's just fun. Like, I genuinely loved going to the classes and getting to know people from all around the world. And what people tend to know Lingoda for, because it's such an insane offer, is that if you go to every single class, like you go to every single one of those classes every day, you can get up to 100% of your money back. You either get 50% of your money back or 100% of your money back based on the course that you choose. But like, wow, if you are dedicated to learning this language and you go every day, you literally don't pay for it. I'm moving to Argentina in September, so one of my goals for summer is to pick up Spanish, to do a Lingoda course in Spanish. If one of your goals is to learn a language, I highly recommend signing up. The next sprint starts on the 21st of March, so you have to sign up soon. And using the link in my description or using the code JADE03 can get you 20 euros or $25 off. Go check it out. Thank you, Lingoda, for sponsoring today's video. Interesting. Learn more about NFTs, cryptocurrency, and intersection with the climate. I've been actively learning about this and reading articles. If you don't know what cryptocurrency is, if you don't know what NFTs are, if you don't know anything about that space, I don't blame you, because I feel like the entry barriers to learning about it are very high. It's just very confusing. It feels like this whole world that exists upon the top of our world. And if you're not in it, it's like, how do I get into it? Cryptocurrency is basically currency that operates on a decentralized system. So right now, all our other currencies are linked to centralized means of control. Banks are controlling our money. Governments are controlling our money. There are actual people who can control stuff to do with our real world money. Cryptocurrency is a bit different because it's on this network which is operated by no one really. It's not regulated in the same way that normal currency is, which is so exciting because there's fewer issues with corruption, there's a lot more transparency. What an NFT is, a non-fungible token, it's weird because it's kind of like an image, like a JPEG photo. Its worth is determined by its collectability. You can collect and own these images because of this decentralized system. Rather than just screenshotting a photo and being like, oh, I have a screenshot in my camera roll, I can pay to own the copy of this image, this token. And because it's decentralized, you can look up my ID, you can see everything I own, you can go back and look at the history of who has owned this image. Crazy stuff. There was an NFT which sold for like half a billion, I can't remember. People willing to pay a lot for NFTs. And I wanted to learn more about this space, why it gets so hyped, what makes NFTs worth money. Something I didn't know last year about NFTs and crypto in general is just how bad it is for the environment. The thing is, every time you transfer an NFT or transfer currency, there's something called a mining cost and mining energy. Mining is just the energy it takes for a computer to send something in a decentralized way. I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's something like sending one NFT is equivalent to flying for 2 hours. So it's so bad for the environment, and because most people don't know that much about NFTs or crypto, it's just this whole area that's so bad for the environment that people don't really talk about that much. Like, people talk about transport, they talk about animal agriculture. But Bitcoin has the same energy consumption as the whole of Argentina. So like, we should talk about this more. But there are also a lot of interesting climate solutions coming from crypto. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but I have recently been looking into and even investing in, who is she? Projects like ClimateDAO and C3, whole cool solutions for the climate. So yeah, this whole world fascinates me. Learn more about Britain's colonial past and treat London as a brand new city. Ooh. I'm taking a history elective this semester. I have not taken history since year 9, for context. But I was like, of all the times in my life to take history, it should be when I am in London. Like, I want to look at my own country through a more historical lens, through a world history lens, rather than the biased narrative we often get fed in secondary school history classes. And it really just changes my perspective on the UK and its power dynamics in the past, how imperialism has shaped our country and the world so much. Yeah, very interesting. And I'm also currently reading Girl, Woman, Other, which is a great book about being a black woman in London. And I'm actually going to meet Bernadine Evaristo, the author, tomorrow, which is so cool. I'm going to a literary event. So I'm trying hard. I'm trying to do this goal and learn more about Britain. Okay, now we're on to skills. Become a better filmmaker. I can genuinely say I have not put any energy behind that goal. I have really not thought about it that much. I find it really hard to do uni and YouTube well at the same time. Like, it's just a constant balancing act. Even though this is a goal that I have, it's just not a priority right now. So in summer, then I'll try. City exploration and the skill of making somewhere feel like home. It's something I've been really trying hard to do in London, and I definitely feel at home here. It's a bit different because this is my home country, home culture. I have a lot of friends here. But as for my uni house, it really feels like such a safe space, such a supportive environment with my housemates. I schedule roomie time every week, which sounds a bit pedantic to put it in a Google Calendar, but our lives are so busy, so it's nice to carve out this intentional time to check in with each other, see how life is. Okay, and then I have my YouTube goals. Focus on TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, firstly, thank you. But secondly, I am the most sporadic person ever. I either post every day or I don't post for like 3 weeks. So I can't say I've been consistent, but I can say I've focused on TikTok at points. And my roommate Masha is so consistent on TikTok. She's amazing. So she's a huge inspiration for me. But yeah, I have really mixed thoughts on TikTok. Like, I don't love scrolling on there. I don't think it's amazing for my mental health, but I also think it's a really cool format for getting ideas across in a fun, easy way. Personal goals. This is the fun one. Have a better idea of what I want to do post-uni and explore career options. I still have no idea on that one, which is okay. But if you're also at a point of uncertainty, I think something that's helping me is 2 things. Firstly, embracing that uncertainty and spontaneity is good, and that often it just represents freedom and having options, and that's exciting because there's so many cool things you could do. And secondly, that in your uncertainty, the best thing to do is try out loads of different things in a low risk way. So I mentioned earlier that I'm interested in education, so I'm creating little mini projects for myself in that space. I'm interviewing people on LinkedIn who are in that space before I have to commit my life to going into that sector. I'm already conducting experiments to see if I'm interested, and then if I'm not, I'll just pivot and I'll just see if I'm interested in something else. I think it's like a practical way to deal with not knowing. Secondly, learn how to set boundaries. Oh my god, so one of my big goals for this year is to be a peaceful bad bitch, which requires setting boundaries. And I'm just not good at it. I'm really not great at it. I don't like saying no to people. I'm such a people pleaser. I'm very spontaneous. I don't know, I just need to get better at it. And this goes along with a different personal goal, which is to start therapy and invest in my mental health. And I've been to my 2nd therapy session as of a few days ago, and I think that's really helping me understand why I might not set boundaries and how I can do this better, why it's really important for me to live a happy life. But yeah, if any of you have advice on this, please do send it my way, like books I can read, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know it's a really important skill to develop for life. And exploring my sexuality, which I have also been doing. So I'm not going to talk about that too much in this video, but I will talk about it eventually. Good times. We love learning about ourselves. Personal projects. If you ever took part in my reset challenge, I'm pivoting off of that project and trying to turn it into an app. I have the most wonderful mini community of 150 of you who I've been in a group chat with for the last year or so, and I am just working on that on the side with these people, trying to turn it into something cool. So I'm so excited to see that flourish this year. Create an NFT drop. I did consider that, but I think now that I actually know more about crypto, I'm not that interested in making my own NFT drop. Like, it's just not the best thing for the environment, but I am still interested in the space. Yay! Okay, so those are my current reflections on my goals for this year. And as someone who's set goals for a few years now, I kind of know what works for me and what doesn't, and how to set things that I know I'll actually do. And I think checking in with these like lets me know that these are goals I actually do want to complete, because most of them have played a role already in my first 3 months of this year. I would love to know, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself this year? How do you feel about them? When we think goals, we often think like, losing weight or trying to conform ourselves more to what society wants, like very aesthetic things. If you want to do that, I support that. You go for it. But I also love goals that are very internally focused, things that aren't necessarily tangible, just general themes that you want to work on or improve. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today, for coming to this little safe space. You guys mean the world to me. You are such a wonderful community, and I'm sending you a big hug wherever you are. If you got to this point of this very long video, please comment me some kind of flower. Spring is coming and it makes me so happy. Like, my casual magic today was walking along and seeing all the daffodils. Daffodils to me are just spring, and we're here, we're in it now. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.